Hey everyone, this month's book is kind of inspired by a podcast I'm listening to with my daughter. It's about the key battles of the Civil War. And they mentioned this book when they were talking about Gettysburg, because this book, The Killer Angels, is about the Three-Day Battle of Gettysburg. And what I like about this book is it's historical fiction, but it's really well researched. So there's a lot of factual information there that helps, drive the story. And one thing that this also does is it takes there are chapters in it that take it from each person's perspective. It's you have the union or the private who's in line, and then you have generals on each side and kind of what they see. And one thing that you'll have something from like Buford, who was was a cavalry general who was there for the Union, who kind of met the first divisions during the first battle, and then you'll have something from like Longstreet, or you'll have something from Lee wondering where one of his other generals, where General Stewart's at, or you'll have something from Reynolds, who was a Union general who was killed there. So you have all these kind of perspectives, and you have their feelings on it, and you get some backstory with some of these people. Like one is there's a divisional commander named Hancock on the Union side, and he is he before the war he was part of the regular U.S. Army who was stationed over in California, and one of his best friends was Harry Heath. I believe his name is Harry, but his last name's Heath. And right at the eve of the Civil War, he resigned his commission and went and joined the Confederacy on the side of Virginia, because that's his home state. And on the third day, behind a stone wall, you have Hancock looking at the field and looking and seeing the divisional flags of his friend Harry Heath, and he's just like, this would be really bad if something would go wrong, or he goes, I don't want to hurt my friend, or and it turns out that he was part of Pickett's charge. That was kind of a bloody event if you know anything about Gettysburg, and unfortunately, Heath is killed in that one, and Hancock is injured, and someone tells him about that, and he thought his injuries were fatal too, and so he's just like, no, not both of us, not everyone. So it's a very good poignant part of the film. It's a very gut wrenching part of the book. It's really in generally a great book. I also liked. A part of this book that I loved is it kind of kicked off my love of history. I read it back. I'm gonna say probably high schoolish, and right as I was liking history, and then that kind of ignited my love of history and Civil War history, and that's one of the things that I still love to read about is Civil War. It's one of my focuses in history, besides war was Germany, modern Germany, so after World War II, kind of but it's also was the Civil War, and it's more because it's it was the brothers against brothers. For me it was kind of like the old Napoleonic tactics with newer technology. So all the technology was getting new, and they weren't figuring that out. So there was huge, battles with with learning curves. It's kind of like what, like World War II. What I liked is they learned all the mistakes from World War One, and then changed that for World War II. And this one, they were basing all their tactics off of Napoleonic era tactics, but they had more modern weapons. So it was kind of, a new kind of war. So, that's what I've always liked about, Civil War. And I really hope you guys listen to or read the book, and we have a good discussion. I hope there's something in there for everyone. And if you don't like the book, don't blame me. I say blame my daughter, since she's the one that kind of inspired me to check this book out, since we are listening to key battles of the Civil War. And I think she found a new key battles to the Revolutionary War, so I think I'm going to be listening to that. So might be another Revolutionary War book coming up, because I have a few of those. So I just hope you guys find this interesting, and I really hope you read it, and I hope you have a great day.